So why is Joe Manchin and everybody holding back our stimulus payments? Do you believe that he should do a better job in sending us stimulus checks? Tell me in the comments down below. Checks are going to be sent out this year, and President Biden is going to do all that it takes to send out the fourth stimulus check.
My bipartisan infrastructure law includes the largest investment in our nation's bridges since the creation of the interstate highway system. Bridges to connect us, bridges to make America work. Across our country right now, there are 45,000 bridges, 45,000 that are in poor condition.
And real quick, everybody, do you believe that President Biden is doing all that it takes to send out these stimulus check payments? Let me know your thoughts on this. So in this video, I'm going to be bringing you updates on the current developments and progress on the fourth stimulus check. There's actually a ton of news and many changes are being made to President Biden's bill. Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are making some big moves for the fourth stimulus checks to be approved. I'll be going over all of this important information in this video, so you want to be sure to stay tuned.
Visit a bridge where, if it's not upgraded, weight restrictions could mean that school buses and fire trucks would have to travel an additional 10 miles out of the way to get to the other side of the river.
Everybody, Oregon Democrats are reviving a proposal to provide essential workers who stayed on the job throughout the crisis a one-time stimulus check of up to $1,000. Workers are going to be eligible for the bonus if they worked an average of at least 20 hours per week in person from April to December of 2020, and if they made less than $22 an hour. If you qualify for this, then be sure to contact the state, because you want to be sure to receive this extra stimulus money. Because like I said, folks, stimulus checks are going out, stimulus payments are being made, and there's a lot of folks in this country that are missing out on receiving the stimulus checks, all because they didn't watch this video and other videos in this community. There's a Democratic representative that said that lawmakers are still seeking clarification from the Employment Department on the number of workers who could qualify for payments. This proposal is a smaller version of a bill that Democratic lawmakers sent out last spring. It's going to provide essential workers up to $2,000 in stimulus payments and provide a $1,200 payment to unemployed people in the state of Oregon. Lawmakers who were unable to push that bill over the finish line are still talking about sending out checks, are still talking about sending out stimulus payments in 2022. For instance, funding for the stimulus payments could come from federal funds that the American Rescue Plan and the state government have done. It has been reported that funding could support payments of up to $1,000, and that's going to go a long way for many people. Don't you guys agree? Still, everybody, the IRS is having a difficult time right now, and the IRS had more than 11 million unprocessed tax returns that was left over from the most challenging tax year taxpayers have ever experienced, and it will begin the upcoming filing season already behind. So according to a report from the National Taxpayer Advocate, the processing delays could be as bad and potentially worse this year. The crisis created new challenges for the agency and brought on additional work. Congress has tasked at the IRS with sending out billions of dollars in economic relief and benefits like the stimulus payments. So it's official, the IRS is actually behind on sending out stimulus payments, and that's not very good. We gotta see them send out checks that people need. Treasury Department officials have also warned that earlier in the week that taxpayers could experience delays this year when they file their 2021 tax returns. The IRS will start accepting them on Monday, January 24th, and as of mid-December, the agency had 8.6 million unprocessed tax returns and more than 3 million business returns left over from last year. It also had nearly 5 million pieces of unanswered mail. So when taxpayers had a question, they had enormous difficulty connecting with someone at the IRS that could help them out. Customer service representatives only answered about 11% of the roughly 282 million phone calls that the IRS received last year. People were asking for stimulus checks and tax refunds, but nobody was able to help them out. And it's very sad to see, everybody. But just know this, President Biden said he's working on this, and I'm going to take his word. I think he's actually doing what it takes. I do hope that he does what it takes and sends out more stimulus payments, because it's definitely going to help many people out this year.
Or our national debt. So the idea of lumping Social Security and cuts in Social Security into a discussion about our deficit and our national debt is absolutely wrong, unfair to the tens of millions of seniors and people with disabilities who benefit from that program. As you know, Mr. President, as the American people know, Social Security is independently funded through the payroll tax. Every worker, every employer contributes into that fund. And Social Security today has a $2.6 trillion surplus that is projected, in fact, to grow to over $4 trillion by the year 2023. We, of course, need a vigorous debate about how we deal with the deficit crisis and our national debt. But Social Security, independently funded, with a $2.6 trillion surplus, having not contributed one nickel to the national debt, should not be part of that debate. Mr. President, I understand that there are many people in the Senate, many of my Republican colleagues, who do not like Social Security, who do not believe in Social Security, because essentially they do not believe that the government should be involved in retirement insurance for seniors or for people with disabilities. And I respect their point of view. I very strongly disagree with it. And the real problem that they have is that Social Security is enormously popular. Poll after poll shows the American people do not want to see Social Security cut. They do not want to see the retirement age raised, and they most certainly do not want to see Social Security privatized, because, in fact, Social Security has succeeded. It has accomplished the goals of those people who founded that program in the 1930s. In the 1930s, about half of America's senior citizens lived in poverty. Today, that number, while it is too high, is down to 10%. More importantly, given the incredible instability in the economy that we have seen for decades, especially in the last few years, where millions of people have lost some or all of their retirement savings that they had invested in Wall Street, Mr. President, over the last 75 years, not one American has lost one dime that he or she was entitled to in terms of Social Security benefits. That's a pretty good record. Every American getting every penny that was owed to him or her for 75 years. It is a program that has worked. It is a program that is working today. It is a program that can pay out every benefit owed to every eligible American for the next 25 years. It is a program that should not be cut. But more to the point, in terms of President Obama, one of the problems that we have as a nation is that it is no great secret